get that out of the way. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Right now, let's see, what do I want to do? Okay. Right now we're back at the start of the game just for one reason, part 4.5. After reading through the comments on the first 4 parts and crap like that, and just my general feeling of how things have been going since I started the LP, I just feel like I've actually done kind of a bad job of like portraying the atmosphere of the game and the actual storyline and what the hell is going on and stuff like that. And I think part of it is just because I've played the game so many times and I know it so well that there's certain parts in the game that I'm just playing and going through and not really even thinking about necessarily what's going on just because I know what I have to do and why. So it's like, you want to LP games that you know really well or that you've never played before. That's a different kind of LP. And I feel like I've done like a step too much with this game before, and that I'm just completely overlooking things that I shouldn't because they're just so regular as opposed to pointing them out. So, long ago, the War of the Magi reduced the world to scorched wasteland and magic simply ceased to exist. And just like, I don't know, I feel like I left a lot of stuff up to players to read as opposed to me just doing my job. 1,000 years have passed. Iron, gunpowder, and steam have been rediscovered. And, I mean, I've tried to sort of accomplish this in, like, the video descriptions and stuff like that, but I know not everybody reads those, because a lot of people don't like to read, though for anyone who knows my videos and has been around for a while, you guys know that I love disgustingly lengthy video descriptions where I go in depth, and you can pretty much watch my videos by reading the description, in a way. And I just feel like I've done a bad job. So, see, now we as we go again, I've skipped over half the freaking words. Anyway, but I feel like I've actually done a good job. Okay, so now I'm... There, now I just loaded up my video on the actual web page, or YouTube page. Let's see if I can get this somewhere. Okay, so our story starts off that, in summary, 1,000 years ago, there was a peace between humans and espers. And espers are sort of like... See, now this just feels really awkward. But espers are sort of like X-Men in a way, in my opinion. Of that they're just like, at that point in time, they're sort of related as a type of person, but they're just different. They have extra powers and crap. Blah, blah, blah. Things didn't go too well, and this whole War of the Magi started, which... I don't think I've even mentioned the War of the Magi yet in the LP, but that's the entire central theme, is this war and this magical stuff. And this War of the Magi 1,000 years ago was kind of a big deal, and it caused espers to leave, blah blah blah, more stuff. And how the intro was going through, and it's like, oh, and you know, we're just starting to get back with iron and gunpowder and things. The war must have been so devastating that it sent the entire world back in their development and technology and things like that. And so the game actually is taking place fast forward 999 years or so. Fast forward 999 years, and it's present day. The Empire has been doing what they can to acquire sources of magical power. You know, they're in this lust for it. And, everyone else is either trying to hold them off, join forces, or arms race and get what they can as well. Which made me think of the Cuban Missile Crisis, as so far nothing has actually happened between places. Everyone's just trying to get more magic. And so far, in the story at least, Terra seems to have this ability come natural to her, which shouldn't be possible because people can't do that. So, that's supposed to be kind of a big deal, and I don't know, I feel like I've failed in that regard. Alright, so let's see if I can see where I've missed. Blah blah blah. I don't know, so this video, like, nothing's gonna progress story-wise. I'm just gonna kind of recap, just from what I felt with the comments. Oh yeah, and some people, well, not this particular attack, some people have just pointed out things that, like, I was like, oh, that's cool. And they were like, are you kidding? You just swallowed that enemy up into the ground and created a sinkhole for him and he disappeared. That was awesome. I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of awesome. But I've seen it so many times it wasn't awesome anymore. Just stuff like that. Dun, 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 dun. trying to skip through things, see if there's anything. I don't know. I just feel like I've done a pretty bad job so far. What does this have? 790 views. I guess that's about what I would expect. Kefka, what a clown. Although I actually don't think Kefka's a clown per se. Side note, somebody else commented that Gestalt looks like a dog. He completely does. I have thought that for the last 20 years of my life, that the dude looks like a dog. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, like, I'm not so sure Kefka's a clown per se. It just reminds me that, like, in the setting where the game is in, how it's like half Renaissance, half Industrial Revolution type thing, half medieval time. That's right, 3 halves, because this game is that sweet. You know, when you wanted to buy your cloth clothings and cotton and things like that, getting certain colors was extremely expensive. You know, your dyes of red and your dyes of purple and things like that. And since Kefka's in a position of importance and significance in the Empire for whatever reason, however he got there, he's also a little bit loony. Like, that's not certainly something that's not true, but I feel like because of his position, and he's probably fairly well off in this world, which even though their money is never really addressed whatsoever. Alright, next episode. I feel like he just kind of took a bunch of different colors because he could, and threw them all together, and it looks like a clown. And once you get referenced to sort of being a clown, that's just kind of it. It's too easy to say he is because he looks like one, but I'm not sure he truly is. He's just freaking mad. He's literally mad. Anyway, alright, so what did I do a bad job of in this episode, aside from everything? And aside from sucking at the video game. Oh, that reminds me, in this cave... Let's see, looking at the thumbnail. Well, now I'm slightly past it. In this cave when Terra was walking around by herself, you guys remember in part 3 how I mentioned, oh, you know, don't pick up these treasures because they'll change later on in the game. Yeah, same thing happens in this first dungeon with Terra by herself, and I accidentally picked them up, so that was kind of a fail. But I don't know why it occurred to me for one area and not the other. But that's how it worked. Yeah, way to go. Show me getting owned. Edgar's such a beast. I'm glad that there have been a few people to comment on, like, the differences in Asian culture to Western culture as far as siblings go. Because that helps explain a little bit of how Sabin and Edgar are, their dialogue. So let's see, what else? Story. Oh, what did I... yeah. There be Kefka. Such a clown. He's so awesome. What did I want to cover in this part? I don't remember what I wanted to cover. I had a plan. See, oh, that's the other thing, yeah, in relation to Kefka's use of color and things like that. Edgar is probably the second most colorful sprite that the characters get to see frequently, and he's also in such a position of royalty and importance, being a king. And it's like, these two sprites have the most detailed, colorful, intricate styles of clothing, and I feel like that just helps support part of the reason why. Like, Edgar's not a clown, you know. His stuff matches more, but that's because he's got to woo the ladies, and Kefka's just like, I don't care. That red is awesome. Let's wear red sleeves, you know. Maybe he just likes Christmas. Alrighty. Oh yeah, there's some... I love this scene. This scene is so awesome. I've only ever seen this scene in this fight. I think you actually get it the first time you use magic with this group, or, you know, later on towards the game. So I'm not sure exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time you use magic. I've just only ever gotten it there. And the emulator likes to fail sometimes and have their sprites get stuck in the ground, but... Okay, I guess there wasn't really anything in this part I feel like I missed. I feel like I've actually done a pretty bad job of the voice acting, but my throat was killing me that day, so I'll give myself an excuse. But yeah, like, this conversation was supposed to be extremely significant. Like, they've both just discovered that Terra can do something that humans aren't supposed to be able to do. And the reason why Edgar felt like, oh crap, I shouldn't have said that when he was like, no human, is because Tara has constantly been going through this self-crisis of like, she doesn't feel herself, like she's not normal, and she knows it, and it makes her feel extremely awkward and insecure, and she doesn't know who she is or what she is. And to compound that with amnesia, you know, she's just in a state of complete turmoil over herself. And then Edgar was like, but you're not human. It's like, oh,
welcome back, everyone.
Hey, shut the hell up, Xerxes. It's like, I should not have said that. So, and then there's this Bannon dude, which I completely just neglected the point, like, this is strange. Why is there some guy that we're supposed to think that he can help Tara? Because this is kind of awkward of an ability. Yeah, I also feel I shouldn't have named Shadow Edge. That was bad. I'm gonna end up calling him Shadow anyway. Alright, what's going through this part? Oh yeah, getting them secrets. I should have freaking equipped my True Knight. Oh well. Edge. What did I miss in this episode? I think I did it. I don't know. Maybe that's just my high standards and I feel like I screwed up when I didn't really screw up. My battles haven't been going well. That's for sure. Anything else? I don't know. I feel like I've just spent too much time talking about crappy stuff. Oh, this part was... I don't know, this part was funny. Just another minor little detail. When Vargas is talking, everyone looks at him. And then they look at Sabin. And then they look at Vargas. And it's just... I just think it was really funny. Like a tennis match when you're going left and right and left and right. Just the way that they're watching the conversation. It just gives an air of comedy with these three and a sense of tension between these two at the same time. That it's like, whoa, get your popcorn ready. Type of deal is how those three were feeling. I don't know, like, the first time I saw that, it just made me laugh so hard, and yet it fits so well with this. And then, of course, you kick them out, and you know, the tension builds a little bit better. And it just, I completely ignored that. And I just feel like it's such a small detail, and this game is all about the small details that it just does so well. And I'm busy talking about how Sabin can do a Hadoken, and that just doesn't do it justice, man. I don't know. Alright, yeah, so now we got the double dragon going on, the two brothers, red brother and blue brother, and they're dead. Alright, so that leaves us with our current episode.
He's gonna say in the status.
Shut up, I have all these videos muted for a reason. Okay, yeah, I can't believe whatever. What else did I do bad here? Aside from forget that, like, I knew where all the treasure was, I just wanted to, I don't know. I felt like there was something I could get before going up here, and I guess I did it wrong. See, I wonder if this bed was available for rest prior to when I actually needed to use my tent, you know? I wonder. I might have actually screwed that part up. Oh well. And then this dialogue I completely blew. Anyway, guys, that's it. Wow, that took 14 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know, I just feel like I haven't done well enough, so I'm gonna record part 5 right now, right after this. So I don't know, just let me know over the next couple of parts if I'm still kind of missing things out. Like if there's things you guys noticed or wanted me to point out or are curious why I didn't go into more detail with, things like that, things that I feel like I kind of overlooked, or things that are on your mind, like you noticed something, you know, please, like, feel free to comment whatever the hell is on your mind. Like, I love comments. If there's something I didn't do, if there's something I missed, you know, if there's something you have a question on, if there's something that's tickling your fancy, and, you know, I do have a tendency, it's one of my things, that I LP a game with my first-person perspective as if I haven't played it yet, for the sense of tension and not spoiler revealing and things like that. So there's some times where I will overlook or skip things on purpose. That's just the style I do my LP. It makes it better for people who've never seen the game before. And then it's always funny, like I'm getting a bajillion comments right now on my Breath of Fire 2 LP from this one guy who's telling me like ways that I could have improved my game, or like if I have a verbal thing like, oh, why is this happening, and then he goes to explain it, when it's fully like, one, I'm fully aware of what actually happened, two, this LP was finished over a year ago, so everything you say is not going to change anything at this point. The LP's been done. It just makes me laugh, and I love it. And that only happens because of the perspective that I view my LP, or just the persona I take, as if it's blind when obviously it's not. Somebody asked a question of, what's the significance between me saying no and saying yes? Honestly, I'm not exactly 100% sure on what the dialogue changes are and what the scene changes are, simply because I never say yes. So they're not very significant. I think it's just a small amount. You don't have this slow motion walk with Terra as, again, she's questioning herself. Obviously, there's a guard who still dies, but I feel like the characters have like their own little talk instead of like, sweet, now that Terra's on board, what are we gonna do? Type of deal. And the difference between Gauntlet and Genji Glove is just better, and you don't get very many of them throughout the game. Gauntlet you can get more of, and it's not as good. So you want to get the Genji Glove, you just do. Even though I didn't equip it this episode, I didn't equip it because I don't have any extra weapons to take advantage of it with. So for the right now of the game, Gauntlet is better, but no, Genji Glove is excuse me, sick. And I won't be using it in this next episode in part 5, but it's kind of awesome. So anyway, did I equip True... See, now I have to figure that out. Did I equip True Knight? Somebody tell me I equipped True Knight, because then I have no excuse for dying. True Knight just must have not worked. Did you get... Ah! You got it! Okay, so why the hell did I die? That was supposed to save... He must have just got one hit KO'd, and that's all there is to it. Because I only held the speed up button for like a second. So, that must have just been it. Nothing I can do about that, I think. Protect Bannon at all costs. Okay, oh yeah, I mentioned during this part that there's an infinite EXP glitch, but I didn't really explain how or why. At least I don't think I did. Just the way that the game is automatically moving you. See how I had to select left? Because if you select up right there, you go in an infinite pattern. So just depending on if your turbo controller that you're using and how you hold the buttons down, and you can tape something down and have your turbo controller automatically going. I think it's possible to switch fight and health and put health up at the top so that that's the automatic command. And then you can just have the game cycle through automatically doing fight commands and health commands to keep you from dying and obviously killing everything, while the game constantly just goes in circles and circles, and you leave it on, and then obviously you get infinite levels over time. Oh, there we go! So this is where I died. I have to watch this now. What the hell happened? He's at 142. Fireball goes. I hit the speed... Yeah, Fireball just killed him. I saw right before I hit the speed up button, he went to 0. So... Dang, if that's the case, what the hell are you supposed to do? It's a good thing I saved. Okay, well, now I don't feel bad. There was literally nothing else that could have... I wonder how much he took. What's his max HP? 165? He was at 142. So, whatever. Anyway, Ultros is awesome. And Terra's dead. Oh yeah, sometimes the emulator screws this up. Like, sprites get stuck in the text box. That doesn't happen in the real game. But this is where we leave off for today's episode, guys. Now that I can put my Firefox back where I actually like it. And boom! Now we're back at the intro, to which I will hold speed up button on a little bit. Destructive force known as magic. And I know, like, some things I've not really touched on because the game is going to constantly have extra development, and some things are easier to explain later. But even in that sense, I feel like normally in RPGs that you're like, oh, you get something, let's test out its mechanics. And I haven't even touched really on the fact of, like, the different characters have their different mechanics and all their different abilities and crap. I don't know, whatever. I just feel like I've done a bad job, so... this was not supposed to take 20 minutes, but you guys know how my episodes always seem to go. So, Yoshinori Kitase, that dude, super important, super important. He's produced a lot of the best FFs. I know his name was on FF10, that's where I first recognized it, and then I saw it in other games. And then, come on. Boom! Nobuo Uematsu. He's like the most awesome dude ever. He makes video game music for a living, and he's now, at the time, you know, he was just a good Japanese composer, but now he's finally recognized as one of the best composers of all time because of video game music. Like, what? But yeah, he's awesome. So anyway, guys, thanks for putting up with this episode, if you did. Just to kind of hear my thoughts on the LP. I'm not sure if anyone's ever done a type of episode like this in the middle of their LP, but this is how I feel. I hold myself to a high standard, and I want this LP to be something epic. And I feel like if I was a viewer watching the first 4 parts of this LP so far, I wouldn't necessarily have been drawn in. I feel like the LPer, thus myself, I don't feel like I've necessarily done something to bring someone in who otherwise would not come in. And thus everyone who's watching are people who are going to watch anyway. And that's fine. That's kind of the way things work. It's not up to my standard. I'm not okay with it. So anyway, guys, just let me know, and thank you for sticking around. Hopefully I'll do a better job. So take it easy, guys. Catch you later. Peace. Whoa, phone call.